Lorraine Lee, an award-winning global keynote speaker and instructor for Stanford Continuing Studies and LinkedIn Learning. Thank you for joining us. So what do we need to know about this?
When it comes to virtual interviews, it is really important that you are intentional about your virtual presence. So, in my upcoming book, Unforgettable Presence, I talk about something called the T method, and that stands for tech, energy, and aesthetics. And these are the three criteria you need to keep in mind anytime you jump onto a video call.
So let's talk about tech first of all. Tell me a little bit more about the T.
Sure. Sometimes tech can feel like the most overwhelming piece. We see all these podcasters with really fancy lighting and background, but really what you need is a few basic essentials. So things like an external webcam, a microphone, and perhaps some additional software that can help with noise canceling or help enhance your image. But when you have the right tech, you will see what a difference it makes and you will come with a lot more confidence because you know that you look good on camera.
I would imagine it helps to have energy. You've got to have energy to stand out, right?
Exactly. And I think what people get wrong about energy is they think, okay, I have energy, like I'm here, I'm awake for the call. But really, when it comes to video, we have to over emote, be a little bit over expressive in a way because video does mute energy. We have this additional barrier of the screen that we have to break through that doesn't exist in person. So you can also see me using my hands, for example. That's a form of energy and body language and communication. It helps me break through the screen, I think, a little bit more. And so having that energy, smiling, showing up with a good attitude, that's really important.
And aesthetics as well, right? You don't want to have something in the background that's distracting you because we want to be the focus, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you have a nice background. I have a curated background here. And the background is actually really powerful. So it's not just the background, but we'll talk about the background first. It's very powerful because it can help create conversation and it can help create connection. So if you looked at my background right now, your eyes might be drawn to a few different things and you might ask, "Oh, Lorraine, what is that? Tell me more." And then we start talking, getting to know each other a little bit better. So that really helps us break out of the typical autopilot conversations, the "how are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm good too." That is so common, especially on video calls when we're in back to back to back meetings. Now, aesthetics also is what you look like, right? So making sure you have the right clothing, making sure, I'm not wearing a white t-shirt with the white wallpaper and the white background and blending into the background. So you want to wear clothes that look professional, that help you pop as well.
Gotcha. Um, let's talk about how we can prepare so that we look confident and competent.
One of the best ways to do this is to be really intentional about your camera framing. And I think both of us have this right now, Dustin, where we have not too much space above our head. We're showing a bit of our torso. When you have the right framing, it's going to feel more like you're having an in-person conversation and you're taking up more of the screen. We don't want to look too small with our head, down here, and then it looks like you're looking down on me. We don't want my giant head taking up the whole screen because that's distracting. And so having the right framing allows us to use our hands. And as I mentioned before, using hands on camera is a really wonderful thing. You appear warmer, more personable, more energetic when you show your palms and hands on camera. So all good things. And then with this framing, we can also focus on eye contact. And eye contact is one of those ways that we create oxytocin, which is a social bonding hormone. We don't have the handshake, right, like we do in person. So eye contact is really the best way that we do that. And again, you're showing up well, you're doing all the right things. That leads to confidence.
Let's talk about RBF. For our purposes here, let's call it resting business face. Um, what can I do to avoid that if that's something that I notice about myself or somebody's told me before?
It's that energy piece I mentioned before where you really have to over emote and be intentional and thoughtful about the face that you have on camera. And so, one simple thing that I recommend is to smile. And I know it sounds so obvious, but again, if we're in back-to-back meetings and we're tired and we're just like, huh, another video call, like that comes across on our face. And sometimes we have an angry face or just not a pleasant face, right? It doesn't look like we want to be there when we're on video, even if that's not our intention. And so being intentional about, okay, I'm going to smile, or I'm going to watch a funny video or a funny clip, or think about something that made me laugh right before I get on the call, that is going to shift our energy, and other people on the other side of the video are going to feel that and help us break free of that RBF.
Yeah. So let's, first, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, right? And the first couple of seconds are so important. Are there some final tips you can give us to make that great first impression in the first couple of seconds of a virtual interview?
I would make sure to break out of those autopilot conversations and implement this strategy called conversational threading. So if we get on a call or an interview, Dustin, and you're asking me how I'm doing, I could say, I'm doing good, how are you? Instead, like today, I said, oh, I'm doing wonderful. Like that already is something a little bit different. And then I might point something out in your background. I might ask you where you're calling in from. And then based on what you tell me, I will follow up on those threads and those conversation pieces and pull instead of just responding with my response. So it allows for a little bit more back and forth and a little bit more organic conversation, because I know small talk can feel like, oh, small talk, I don't want to do it. But small talk is really powerful for connection. So to be able to connect with the interviewer at the start, that's going to make you stand out.
All right. And tell me the name of your book again.
Yes, it's called Unforgettable Presence. Get seen, gain influence, and catapult your career.
All right. Lorraine, thank you so much. Lorraine Lee, thank you for joining us. And we wish you the best. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye bye.